Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something that many people are afraid to admit out loud. Have you ever done everything right and still felt empty? You checked off the boxes, you achieved the goals, you played the game the world told you to play, and yet, somewhere deep inside, there's this quiet sense of dissatisfaction. A whisper that asks, is this all there is? You're not alone. We live in a society that constantly tells us to chase more money, more success, more validation. From the moment we wake up, we're bombarded with messages that we're not enough. Unless we do more, have more, become more. We've been programmed to believe that happiness is something we earn only after we've accomplished enough to deserve it. But what if that belief is the very thing keeping us from the peace we crave? What if the endless pursuit of more is the reason we never feel full? You see, somewhere along the way, we confused movement with meaning. We began chasing titles instead of purpose. We sought validation through likes and followers instead of self-acceptance. We measured our worth by how much we've achieved instead of who we've become. And in that process, many of us lost sight of the present moment. We became so focused on the next goal, the next milestone, the next level, that we forgot how to just be. We forgot how to breathe. We forgot how to live. So today, this message is not just about motivation, it's about truth. It's about awakening. It's about learning how to break free from the cycle of delayed happiness and finally step into a life that feels whole. Not because you've achieved perfection, but because you've reclaimed presence. Because real satisfaction isn't found in the finish line. It's found in the moment you stop running and start appreciating. It's found when you look around at your life, not through the lens of comparison, not through the eyes of society, but through the eyes of gratitude. And you say, this is enough? I am enough. This is your reminder to stop chasing things that were never meant to complete you and start cultivating a life that's rooted in peace, alignment, and authenticity. Because lasting fulfillment doesn't come from the outside in, it comes from the inside out. And over the next few parts of this message, we're going to uncover the deeper reasons why you feel unsatisfied, even when you're succeeding. We'll explore how to escape the myth of arrival, how to stop comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel, and how to finally tap into a version of success that doesn't just look good, but feels good. So take a breath. Let go of the pressure to be perfect and get ready to rediscover a truth that was always within you. You don't need to chase satisfaction. You just need to stop running from the present, the endless chase for more. Have you ever wondered why, even after getting what you wanted, you still feel this emptiness inside? You got the job you prayed for, you moved into the home you dreamed of, you achieved the milestone you once thought was impossible. But instead of satisfaction, you'd feel this strange hollowness, this ache to move on to the next thing. That's because you were taught to chase, not to be content. From a young age, we're conditioned to believe that fulfillment comes from the next achievement. As kids, we were praised for getting good grades, not for being kind or thoughtful. As adults, we're admired for promotions, for cars, for titles, not for peace of mind, character, or purpose. And so we grow up thinking, when I get there, I'll finally feel happy. But what happens when you get there? The finish line moves. The joy is temporary, the satisfaction fades. And you're left thinking, maybe the next thing will do it. But the truth is, it never does. You are living in a cycle of delayed happiness. You say, I'll be happy when I lose weight. Then you lose it. And now it's, I'll be happy when I tone up. You say, I'll be happy when I make 6 figures. Then you get there, and now it's, I need 7. It never ends. And the real danger, you start to define your worth by how much you've achieved instead of who you've become. You mistake movement for meaning. You confuse busyness for progress. But deep inside, you're tired. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Because you're running on a treadmill that never stops. What no one tells you is that there is no finish line when your mind is set on constantly chasing more. There is no moment of enough when you don't know how to feel full right where you are. This doesn't mean you should stop striving. It means you need to start living. You can still have ambition, but learn to anchor it in peace. You can still grow, but learn to appreciate the now. Because if you're always sprinting toward the future, you'll miss the life happening in the present. Satisfaction doesn't come when you reach the top. It comes when you stop climbing for approval and start climbing with purpose. So pause, breathe, look around at the life you've built. You're not empty, you're just disconnected. And sometimes reconnecting with the present is the most powerful thing you can do. The myth of arrival. There's a myth we've all been sold, a silent lie that hides behind every goal, every dream, every milestone we chase. It's the myth of arrival. The belief that once you arrive at a certain destination, financially, emotionally, physically, you'll finally feel whole, happy and fulfilled. You tell yourself, when I get the house, I'll feel secure. When I get married, I'll finally feel loved. When I have kids, life will feel complete. When I retire, I'll finally relax. But here's the truth, there is no magical arrival point. The job won't save you. The relationship won't fix your self-worth. The money won't cure your anxiety. Because wherever you go, you take yourself with you. Your thoughts, your patterns, your emptiness, they travel right alongside you. And that's why so many people reach success and still feel like something's missing. They climb the ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. You see, satisfaction isn't about arrival, it's about alignment. You're not meant to reach some final point and stay there. You're meant to evolve, to flow, to keep becoming more of who you already are, not to chase something outside of yourself hoping it'll complete you. The problem is, we place our peace in the future. We make happiness a reward instead of a practice. But you can't find lasting satisfaction in temporary achievements. And you can't feel a soul-level void with surface-level victories. That's why even after getting everything you thought you wanted, you still feel a little lost. Because it was never really about the car, the promotion, the praise. It was always about what you thought those things would make you feel. Valued, seen, worthy, loved. But the real question is, why don't you feel those things now? Why are you waiting for permission to feel whole? You don't need to arrive anywhere to be enough. You already are. But until you believe that, you'll always be running towards a better body, a higher salary, a bigger platform, thinking that maybe this time, the finish line will give you what your heart craves. But the truth? The finish line never gives. It only reveals. It shows you what's already inside of you. And if you're empty inside, no amount of success will fill you. If you're at war with yourself, no victory will bring you peace. So instead of chasing arrival, start chasing alignment. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? Because becoming is greater than arriving. And fulfillment comes not from what you earn, but from how deeply you live. The comparison trap. One of the biggest reasons you're never satisfied isn't because you're ungrateful or incapable, it's because you're trapped in the endless cycle of comparison. Let's be honest. You open your phone and instantly you're faced with highlight reels, perfect relationships, dream vacations, luxury lifestyles, fit bodies, and million-dollar businesses. And suddenly, your life, your normal, beautiful, meaningful life, feels like it's not enough. Comparison is a thief. It doesn't just steal your joy, it robs you of your presence. It tells you that what you have is worthless unless it looks like what they have. But here's the truth. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's perfectly edited show reel. You're stacking your life with all its complexity and growth and lessons against a filtered snapshot of someone else's moment. And that's not fair to them and definitely not to you. Every time you compare, you send a message to yourself that says, I'm not enough. I should be further. I should be more successful, more attractive, more accomplished by now. And those messages become beliefs. They settle into your mind, planting seeds of self-doubt that grow into anxiety, restlessness, and chronic dissatisfaction. But here's what you need to remember. Your journey is not a race. It's not meant to look like anyone else's. It's gorgeous. And just because someone is ahead of you in one area doesn't mean they're ahead in life. You don't know what they had to go through to get there. You don't know what they're battling behind closed doors. And most importantly, you don't need their life to feel fulfilled in your own. Satisfaction starts when you stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for direction. When you stop measuring your worth by someone else's success. When you realize that comparison is a distraction from your own calling. Because while you're busy watching them live their life, you're not living yours. And here's the truth. That will set you free. No one is you. No one has your story, your scars, your strengths, your soul. And that means Your path was never meant to look like theirs. So protect your energy. Limit your exposure to the things that make you question your value. Unfollow accounts that make you feel like you're constantly behind. Choose inspiration over envy. You don't need to keep up. You just need to keep going. And the only person you should be comparing yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. Did you grow? Did you show up? Did you learn something? Did you try? That's what matters. Because satisfaction doesn't come from winning someone else's race. It comes from honoring your own, the myth of more. We live in a world that's obsessed with more. More money, more followers, more success, more beauty, more recognition. We are constantly being fed this dangerous narrative that more equals better, and that satisfaction only comes when you reach the next level. But here's the truth no one tells you. More doesn't guarantee happiness. In fact, for many people, the more they gain, the emptier they feel. You think, if I just get this promotion, I'll finally feel fulfilled. If I just make 6 figures, I'll be at peace. If I just find the right partner, I'll stop feeling so alone. And when you reach that milestone, there's a moment of excitement, sure, a little buzz, but it fades. And then a new desire kicks in, a new goal, a new next thing. That's the trap. It's called the hedonic treadmill, the psychological phenomenon where no matter how much you achieve or accumulate, your level of happiness returns to a baseline. You keep running, hoping that the next accomplishment will finally be the one to fulfill you. But no matter how fast or far you go, satisfaction always feels just out of reach. Why? Because more is a moving target. You reach one level and society says, great, but now you need to do more to matter. It's a dangerous cycle. And it teaches you that you are never enough as you are. But here's what they don't want you to realize. You don't need more to be satisfied. You need meaning. You need alignment. You need purpose. Satisfaction doesn't come from the size of your bank account or the number of likes you get. It comes from living a life that's true to your values, from waking up and doing what matters to your soul, not what impresses the world. And yes, growth is good. Ambition is powerful. Wanting more is not wrong. But don't confuse progress with pressure. Don't chase goals just to fill a void. Because anything you achieve from a place of emptiness will only leave you more empty. Instead, ask yourself, why do I want this? Will this actually nourish me? Or am I chasing it because I think it will fix how I feel inside? Am I building a life that aligns with who I am, or one that looks good on paper? When you get clear on your why, the what stops running your life. Real satisfaction comes when you stop buying into the myth that more is the answer, and you start embracing the truth that enough is a mindset, not a milestone. You already have what it takes to feel fulfilled, but first you have to stop chasing the illusion that you need to be more to be at peace. The key to lasting fulfillment. Let's be honest, we're all searching for something. We're searching for peace, for meaning, for joy that lasts. But in that search, many of us look outward. We look to relationships, success, status, wealth, hoping one of those things will finally silence the feeling that something is missing. But true fulfillment doesn't come from what you can acquire. It comes from what you cultivate. It comes from within. You see, satisfaction isn't something you find at the end of a race. It's something you experience in the moment. When you live in alignment with your values, when you honor your purpose, and when you choose gratitude over comparison. Lasting fulfillment is rooted in self-awareness. It begins when you stop asking, what do I need to get? And start asking, who do I need to become? Because no external achievement can fix internal chaos. No amount of success will silence a mind filled with self-doubt and resentment. And no relationship, no recognition, no amount of money can heal the parts of you that believe you're not enough. So what's the key? It's intention, it's presence, it's authenticity. It's choosing to show up for your life, not as someone chasing approval, but as someone grounded in who they are. It's learning to celebrate small wins, to appreciate the progress, not just the result. To slow down and realize that peace isn't found when you arrive somewhere. It's created every day through your mindset, your habits, your thoughts. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? What brings me joy regardless of recognition? Am I living a life that's true to me, or one I think I should be living? Because if you're constantly striving to meet someone else's definition of success, you will always feel behind, always feel inadequate, always feel like something is missing. But when you define success on your own terms, when you live with intention, when you focus on growth over perfection, and when you learn to be content without becoming complacent, that's when everything shifts. You begin to experience fulfillment not because everything is perfect, but because you are finally present. You stop needing to prove yourself and start choosing to honor yourself. You stop running from your fears and start building a life rooted in self-respect. And maybe, just maybe, you stop searching for more because you realize that what you were looking for was never out there. It was always in you. So if you're tired of never feeling satisfied, if you're tired of the hustle, the noise, the pressure to always do more and be more, then stop, breathe, reconnect, and remember, the key to lasting fulfillment is not in the next thing, it's in the now. Ladies and gentlemen, by now you've come to see the truth that so many people spend a lifetime avoiding. The chase for more is not the answer. The finish line will not save you. Arrival will not complete you. And comparison will not fulfill you. What you are looking for is not out there, it's in here. We've spent years, sometimes decades, running after things the world told us we needed to feel satisfied. We thought success was a destination, that happiness was earned, that peace came after the storm of achievement. But in reality, we've only been running in circles, exhausted, overwhelmed, and secretly wondering why we still feel empty inside. The good news? You can step off the treadmill right now. You don't need to keep chasing, comparing, or proving. You just need to come home to yourself. Fulfillment doesn't live in your next promotion, relationship, or accomplishment. It lives in your ability to be present with who you are, where you are, and what you already have. It lives in gratitude, in stillness, in alignment. And no, this doesn't mean you shouldn't strive for greatness, but it does mean you should no longer tie your worth to your work, your peace to your progress, or your value to your victories. You are not your resume. You are not your mistakes. You are not your follow account or your bank account. You are a soul having a human experience. And that experience becomes meaningful when you slow down long enough to actually feel it. It's time to redefine success, not as something you chase, but as something you create from the inside out. It's time to let go of the pressure to be further ahead and start embracing the power of now. Because real satisfaction doesn't come when the world claps for you. It comes when you can sit in silence, look around at your life and whisper, I am enough. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop waiting to arrive, start living today. Reclaim your time, reclaim your energy, reclaim your presence. Because what you've been searching for has never been out of reach. It's been waiting inside you all along. It's not in the next goal. It's not in the next season. It's not in someone else's approval. It's in you, right here, right now. So breathe, let go, and be still. And remember this, you don't have to chase satisfaction anymore. You just have to stop running from yourself. Ending on, your life is not a race. Your worth is not a destination. And your joy, it was never meant to be delayed. You are enough today, exactly as you are. Live from that truth and watch how your world transforms.